Earlier classes we have discussed about the covalent bond, right? So that covalent bond which is going to be characterized by the four bond parameters. Four types of will be there. So first one is called bond length, second one bond angle, third one bond order, and fourth one is called bond energy. So these bonds which is going to be characterized about the covalent bond. So let us discuss one by one. So that starts with the bond length. Bond length means length. What is the distance? That is simply in one word it tells that bond length is nothing but the distance between the center of the nuclei of the two atoms, right? So let us take one more definition here, which is going to be defined as the average equilibrium distance between the nuclei of two bonded atoms in a molecule, or in simple word, distance between the center of the nuclei of the two atoms. And one more point tells that in covalent molecules, because we are discussing about the covalent bond, right? That covalent bond which is going to be characterized by this bond length. So in covalent molecules, the sum of the covalent radius, you already have this one, covalent radius of the two bonded atom is equal to bond length. In covalent molecules, that covalent radius of the two atoms, that must be equal to the bond length. Suppose if I take the first, we should discuss the covalent radius. Covalent radius is nothing but the distance between the center of the nuclei of the two bonded atoms. Suppose I am going to take an hydrogen molecule as an example, right? So this is one atom, this is one atom. Now I am going to write here. So this is one hydrogen atom and this is one hydrogen atom. Their distance, right? Their distance I am going to cap it here. So up to here, for this radius of this one hydrogen atom, now I am going to take it as H1 and this is I am going to take it as H2. So this H1 radius will be like this, will be there up to this one. This H2 radius will be this much part will be there. That is called covalent radius. Covalent radius is nothing but the distance between the center of the nuclei of the two bonded atoms. That is called hydrogen molecule. So here what happens? So this distance we are going to call as the bond length. So they are telling that in covalent molecules the sum of the covalent radius. This is one covalent radius and this is one covalent radius. 1, 2. These covalent radius together we are going to call as the bond length. This is about the bond length. If suppose hydrogen bond length will be nearly 74 picometer. So pico means 10 raised to minus 12 meter will be there. So we have studied already. So if the bond length will be 74 picometer, what will the covalent radius? Exactly, it's half of this one. That is 74 divided by 2 is 37 picometer. So this is 37 picometer and this is 37 picometer. That together it is called as the bond length. That is 74 picometer. Suppose if I take the carbon-carbon bond length, carbon-carbon bond length will be 154 picometer will be there. So what about its covalent radius? Covalent radius is nothing but half of this bond length. That is 154 divided by 2. You are going to get nearly answer as 74 picometer. Right? 74 plus 74, that is called 154 picometer. So this is about the bond length, and also you are going to see some of the charts that tells that the exact bond distance between some of the common bonds. You are going to see that hydrogen, fluorine, oxygen, hydrogen, like this will be there. So just you should remember this one. Let's discuss about the second one, bond parameter, that is called bond angle. Angle means you should know this one. The bond angle is defined as the angle between the two bonds of the atoms in a molecule, or you are going to define as the internal angle between the orbitals containing the bonding electron pairs around the center atom of a molecule. So suppose if I take the example for this water molecules, so according to that, the internal angle, this should be called the internal angle between the orbitals containing the bonding. So these are bonding as the bonding electrons. These are called the bonding electrons, and these are called as the lone pairs of the electrons. So what happens? Its bond angle should be water molecules 104.5 degree. So that is bond angles in the ammonia molecule. This is named as ammonia NS3. So here 107.8 degree, and come to the last one, that is called methane compound CH4. Here the bond angle should be 109.5 degree. So you are going to see that one. The bond angle is going to be decreases from this one, right? So this is the least one, this will be the moderate one, this is the highest one. Why? Because like this will happen, that is because of the lone pair of the electrons. So always we should tell that water molecule is always in a bent structure. This is called bent structure. We are not going to write water molecules in this manner. We are not going to write like this, because we should write in this manner because of the presence of this lone pair of electrons on the oxygen atom, the molecules they are going to be slightly bending. Come to here, ammonia, due to this presence of only one lone pair of electrons, so it will be slightly increases from this water molecules to like this 107.8 degree. But here there is no non-bonded, that is called, there is no lone pair of electrons, that's why it will be 109.5 degree. Let's discuss about the third one, that is called bond order. So it is defined as the number of the bonds between the two atoms in the molecule. How many bonds will be there, that is going to be calculated here. Or it is equal to the numbers of the shared pair of electrons between the two atoms in a molecule. Shared, how many dot that should be shared here, that is going to call as the bond order. If I take the example for the hydrogen, right, hydrogen, fluorine. So these molecules which are going to be held together by only one bond like this, I am going to write as a hydrogen like this. Hence it should, hydrogen bond will be only, its bond order should be 1. Like this fluorine also. What is the bond order here? In fluorine molecule only one bond. Like this fluorine also. Like this will be there. But whereas very important note here, the isoelectronic molecules and ions have the identical bond orders. What do you mean by this one? Let's discuss here. Isoelectronic means, iso means same, electronic means same electrons. Molecules may be different, but their electrons must be same. That is called isoelectronic molecules. Let us take this fluorine molecule. What is the atomic number of this fluorine? That is nothing but the 9, right? So how many fluorines are there? 2. That is called 18 electrons should be there. 9 to the 18 electrons should be there. What about this oxygen? Right, oxygen means atomic number should be 8. So how many oxygen will be there? So 8 plus 8, 16 will be there. Plus I am going to add this negative charge. If negative charge will be there, I am going to add here. That is also becomes 18. So in these molecules of fluorine and O2 minus, the bond order should be equal to 1. Similarly, this nitrogen, carbon monoxide, this NO plus, what happens here? Bond order should be 3 will be there. So how? Let's take here. Nitrogen atomic number will be 17. 72 nitrogen is, that becomes the 14, and the carbon here 6, right? 6 plus oxygen, how many? 8. So 6 plus 8, 14 electrons will be there. And here also nitrogen 7, right? 7 plus 8, I am going to plus 1 will be there. I am going to subtract here, that becomes the 14. So like this, these molecules we are going to call as the isoelectronic molecules and ions. They should be have the identical bond order like this. Here the bond order should be 3 for this one, 3 for this carbon monoxide, and also 3 for this nitrogen molecule. Let's discuss about the last one, bond parameter, that is called the bond energy or bond enthalpy. So the how much energy is going to be required to remove the bond. That is, simple words we are going to define like this. But according to this definition, it tells that it is going to be defined as the amount of energy which is going to be required to break the 1 mole of the bonds of a particular type between the two atoms in a gaseous state. So that should be in the form of the gaseous state. Then only we are going to break down that bonds, right? So and here this is kilojoule per mole and kilocalorie per mole. So these are the units of this one, bond energy or bond enthalpy. Let's take a simple examples. That is called hydrogen molecule. Hydrogen is the only bond length should be there. Only one bond length should be there, right? Bond order should be 1. Here the bond order should be 1 for this hydrogen molecule. So that is required 435.8 kilojoule per mole. Why? Because this should be in the gaseous form, right? In order to break down this bond, that is bond between two hydrogen atoms, it requires the 435.8 kilojoule per mole. What about the oxygen? Divalent. So here oxygen is divalent, right? Here the bond order should be 2. Here the bond order is 2, and here bond order should be 1. How the bond order or bond length goes on increases, so the larger amount of energy is also required to break down the here. So that's why it is going to require nearly 500 kilojoule per mole. That's why, because it is a larger, because of this one bond length or bond order. That is also increased, right? That's why energy is also required. More energy is required to break down this bond. Whereas in the polyatomic molecules, what happens here? Water molecules. So first we are going to take in the gaseous form. We are going to break down water molecules. I am going to write like this manner, right? So how I am going to split this one? Hydrogen first and hydroxide first. H and OH. Now I am going to break down here. So it requires the 502 kilojoule per mole. And also this will be there. Again one bond will be there in oxygen and hydrogen, that I am going to break down here. Hydrogen and oxygen separately. So this is required 427 kilojoule per mole. That much of energy is required. So now in order to total energy I required, right? So that's why I am going to take an average bond energy of the water molecules that should be required here. 0.02 plus 427 divided by 2. Average is there, right? I am going to divide by 2. So after this division, so we are going to obtain the 464.5 kilojoule per mole. So this much of energy is going to be consumed for to break down this hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen bond. So this is about the bond energy. Let's discuss about the resonance structures. Why you should study this one? That is very important. You know that. So to represent any molecule, we have used the Lewis dot structure, right? So that Lewis dot structure tells that how to represent a molecule, right? We have discussed already. But one thing interesting parameter, that some of the examples which are going to be represented by the more than one Lewis dot structures, right? So that more than one Lewis dot structures we are going to call as the contributing structures or resonating structures, that we are going to tell. So that why that word we are going to call as the resonance structures we are going to call as, like this will be there. So let's take the definition of this one. Resonance is a phenomenon in which a molecule is represented by more than one Lewis structure. We are going to represent any compound, more than one Lewis structure will be there. The best example will be O3, that is called ozone molecule should be there. And here that differs only with the respect to the position of the electrons. Yes, from looking this 1, 2 structures, what happens? The positions are going to be changed, right? So here the single bond will be there, but this side double bond has come here, and here in this case double bond and single bond. That is called the differs only with the respect to the position of the electrons. The position of the electrons is important here. So at this left side 6 dot will be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whatever this side 4 will be there. That is the position of the electrons which are going to be changed here, but not with respect to the atomic nuclei. The nuclei which is not going to be changed, the only position of the electron which is going to be changed. So these are the best example. Ozone molecule which tells that these is be called Roman number 1 and 2. They are going to call as the different types of the Lewis dot structure. So this structure indicates that we should write by using the more than one Lewis dot structure. We are going to use this one according to definition, represented by more than one Lewis dot structure. This is also Lewis dot structure. This is also Lewis dot structure. So these contributing structures we are going to call as the resonance structures. So here you are going to observe that the oxygen and oxygen single bond should be 148 picometer, whereas in oxygen and oxygen double bond should be 121 picometer should be there. So both sides same. But it tells that in experimental what they have find that the ozone molecule, the bond length should be like this, 128 picometer. This is called 128 picometer. That is what experimental values. But what happens? So these values tells that, so these values are the intermediate values between the single bond and double bond. So like this, these contributing structures of these ozone molecules I am going to represent it in one diagram, that is called resonance. So this is for the resonance structure of the O3 molecules. So this is about the resonance structure. Let's take one more example. So we are going to see the structures of this compound name is called carbonate. That is CO3 2 minus. That is called 2 negative charge will be there. Here one and here one. Like this should be there. So this is also best example for this one, resonance structures. So according to Lewis dot structure, we are going to write in more than one representation. That is called one type. This is another type. This is called third type here. So you are going to see this one. So this is called C double bond O minus. So this structure which is not be similar to like this should be there. What happens here? The position of the electrons they are going to be changed here. So here first in this first structure double bond should be there, but here single bond is there. So the double bond has shifted to this side. And in this second structure, this double bond is the right side, but here it comes to the left side. What happens here? The position of the electrons which are going to be changed here. So that's why this Lewis dot structure of these three contributing structures or three Lewis dot structures of this carbonate CO3 minus, we are going to write it as in one diagram, that is called resonance hybrid. So this structure is called as the resonance hybrid. It tells that this double bond may be here, it may be there, here it may be there, here it may be there. So that's why we are writing as in resonance form. So that is the advantage of this that is resonance. We are going to write like this.